Hi guys, so this is not just it is not a formal session. It is just a session that I scheduled for some to just answer few of your questions and introduce myself and just I want to get to know about you as well. And we have few more people to join, but since it's a weekend session, so if they are comfortable, they will join. Otherwise, it's fine. They'll go through the recording and we'll start formally on Saturday. All right. So, my name is Vipul, and I'll be the instructor for this particular technology, which is generative and agentic AI, right? And I am having an overall experience of almost 11 years, right, in this data science field. AI, data science, machine learning, deep learning kind of things, right? And since last almost 4 years, I started working on this particular technology, which is generative AI. That means you can consider a kind of at a very early stage. Okay, when this GPT came, right, and people started talking about transformers, it was a very early stage. Right. Since then, I had seen a lot of development in this field. Okay, and as of now, also it is not into a very stable stage. Development is still going on. So many new technologies, so many new things keep joining this particularly, like agentic and so many other things are there. So we'll try to explore this particular thing as much as we can. Okay, without hands-on practicals, labs, exercises, and different things, right? And it's like I have an experience of working with different organizations on different kinds of requirements related to data science, machine learning, AI, and generative AI. I just use those experiences with you to give you an understanding about like how these fields actually works, how this technology actually works, right? So it will not be just kind of a general kind of a training program. It will be kind of you'll feel it like it's a kind of a end-to-end process. Okay, development to deployment. Okay, we will definitely develop, we will definitely create something, but will not create to keep it into our system. Okay, whatever that we create, we'll see that we'll just try to make it, kind of we'll try to productionalize it. Okay, that means if I have any software or any application, then how end users can use it. It's through, obviously it's through kind of I have to deploy it on a cloud, right? I have to create some API. Okay, so those process also we'll see. We'll try to create some good boards, right? We'll try to work on some good case studies like handling our own private data, or how we can use generative AI in the field with the DBMS, SQL, okay, MySQL kind of thing. Okay, images, multi-model, text, images, audios. So many things are there in the back, right? So we'll just go through the things step by step, right? What actually expected, it's like, if you have the basic understanding of Python, okay, it would be always good. Okay, and if you're already aware with machine learning and deep learning, then it will be a quite like everything will, you'll find it very familiar. You'll feel it very easy, right? But at least basic understanding of Python is what that I'm expecting, so that you can get the concepts easily. All right, that is what required. And I hope you have the curriculum with you, right? I'll just try to share my screen and I'll also take your questions. Okay. So I hope the curriculum is there with you. Okay, we'll follow this curriculum step by step, right? So as it is mentioned, we'll start with the foundation of because we are going to work on a generative process, right? So generative process, it's like text generation process is first thing that we'll work on. So for that, understanding of natural language, right? That means right now whatever I'm speaking, what I'm using natural language, right? So we just need to understand this thing like how actually your system understands natural language. What are the algorithms used? How text being processed by the system, right? Like system only process or calculates numbers, right? That's why all the characters are converted into ASCII, right? Every character is having a ASCII value. Why every character is having ASCII value? Because system can only process numeric values, right? So we just need to understand if they get text, okay, there is a paragraph, there are the words, combination of words. So how a system can process it, how a system can learn from it, right? That is called natural language processing, right? So in that, text will be there. From the text, embedding will happen. Embedding is converting the text into numeric form, thereafter vector form, right? And then those vectors will be used in the neural network. And then we have to decide, we have to see like which neural network works good, whether it's a deep neural network, whether it's RNN, whether it's a CNN, right? So according to the requirement, we choose a neural network, and then we try to build a model. A model which can identify something, which can predict something. Predict means what? Like identify whether it's a positive sentiment words or it's a negative sentiment sentence, right? That is your prediction. Next step after the prediction is generation. So generation is also a prediction, right? Generation is nothing else. Generation is also a prediction. It is like this, right? Like for example, if I will write over here something, just a minute. Okay, let's say I'll write over here how. So if I want my system to complete this particular sentence, so next word need to be predicted. Okay, so next word, how, after how, there are so many words can be there. Okay, like after how R can be possible. Okay, after how, like how is it? Is this possible, right? After how to is possible, how to create something, right? So after how, lot of different words are possible, right? So to generate a particular word, system needs to predict a word, right? The word which is having the highest probability. So generation is also a kind of a prediction only, right? So but here, why we call it generation, why don't we call it prediction? Because prediction is something, which can be, which is kind of a fix, like okay, 0 or 1 I have to predict, okay, or I have to predict a numeric value, right? Here it's like, first time if you use how, first time it may generate the word R. Okay, next time when again you are giving the how, okay, according to different context, how is same. How is same if you change the context. Okay, so your system, your model will predict 2, right? If you again change the context, right, your system may predict is, right? So in a general prediction, the same thing gets predicted again and again. If you give the same feature, same outcome, same feature, same outcome, right? But in generation, it's like same feature can generate different things depending upon the overall context. Okay, that's why we call it a generation, we don't call it normal prediction. But ultimately it's a kind of a prediction only, right? So let's try to understand all these things, like what process makes a system generate a word. Okay, that starts obviously with NLP, RNN, and LSTM, right? Thereafter, transformer model, right? So, how these whole journey happens, the step by step development, right? Thereafter, this is something that 1 and 2, right? Third is something where we use our advanced model like BERT, GPT, different models that we have, Gemini, Llama, right? Thereafter, kind of for DeepSeek, Gamma, so many models are there. We just try to explore. We just try to compare, like how they are basically working and what sort of difference they are having. What are open source? What are closed source? Right? Whether open source work faster, whether closed source work faster. If open source works faster, why? If closed source is not working faster, then how can we make it faster, right? It's like performance analysis, it's like cost analysis. Okay, which one will be better if I am using something for my organization, right? Compare like performance wise, costing wise, everything, right? Or requirement wise, resource requirement wise, everything we'll try to explore here, right? Because when we kind of choose anything to deploy, lot of factors we consider, right? We consider the processing, like sometimes we need a very fast processing. Okay, I need the output very fast. Sometimes I don't need the output very fast. Okay, slow is fine, but I need it less costly, right? Sometimes I can invest more, I will put more money, but I need more fast output. Okay, sometimes it's like, okay, I don't want to invest more because with the slower speed my work can be done. My job is not like that, I need a very, like internally I'm using it within the organization. So if slightly slower it is working, it's fine. Okay, so that kind of application. So according to the requirement we choose a model, right? So cost comparison, different ways of using it, like how can we use GPT, how can we use Gemini, how can we use Llama, how can we use Grok, different things that we'll try to explore. Thereafter, we work on the fine tuning. Fine tuning is like I have my own private data, right? And I just want my model to learn from my data, because GPT knows everything, everything from the internet. GPT, Gemini, anything. Okay, knows everything from the internet. It knows lot of books. It knows about lot of books, Wikipedia, and so many things it knows. But it don't know that is present within my own organization. Okay, some private data I do have, right? So it's like, how can we use my private data to train the GPT? That is called augmenting it. Okay, it is already having its own data, it is already having its own algorithm. I am augmenting it with my own data, right? So that it can work for me. Okay, it can work for me, it can start working for me, right? Like suppose if I hire someone into my company, so what I do after hiring, first of all, I will just kind of try to explain how my company works. Okay, what are the product of my company, right? Because he is coming from other company. Okay, he is not knowing my own organization. So first of all, I have to train that this is my company, these are the products we build, these are my clients, this is how we operate, these are our employees, right? So I have to give sort of information to a new employee. Then my employee becomes fit to work in my organization. It's not like that on hiring on the very first day I'll just give him a laptop and system and table and then say that okay, start working. No, that is called what, fine tuning process. Same thing happen over here. We have a GPT knows a lot of things. We have a Gemini, we have a Llama, we have ABCD. They know a lot of things, but we want them to fine tune on my own data, right? That is called augmenting. When this whole term is called RAG, retrieval augmented generation. So it can retrieve the data from my own content, get augmented, and then it can start generation. Right? That's what we'll try to explore. Different LLM API and agent that we'll try to work on, like using different APIs. Thereafter, open source LLM. What are open source? Like Llama claim themselves as an open source LLM, right? Llama, Gamma, right? Dolphin. Lot of open source LLM are there. Right? That also we'll try to explore. Right? We'll just try to understand different AI like co-pilots, like what are co-pilots? Like GitHub Copilot for code generation, right? So how can we use them for code generation and different kinds of things. In this process, we'll also build agents, right? Agents are like something which is task dedicated. Okay, that will perform a single task, a particular task, you know based on its learning, based on its training, right? Like GPT can do a lot of things. Okay, agent will be task dedicated. Like I create an agent and I trained him that how I actually write a mail. Suppose I created an agent and I trained him how I actually write the mail, how I make a response to a mail, and then that agent becomes capable of writing the mail, a formal mail, the way I write. Okay, so my job becomes easier, right? Suppose I created an agent and like see, when you visit any website, on a website there used to be over here a chat icon. Okay, on that chat icon, when you click, you can just chat with the kind of a board. That is also kind of agent, right? That is a chat agent, right? Like when you order a food, okay, and you have to do, you don't like the food or you want to return the product. Okay, so in that case, what happens? There used to be an agent who guides you, right? So those agentic things also will work on, and then at the end we'll build out some caption projects. So step by step, weekly things are mentioned over here, but we will not be in hurry. Okay, we will not be in hurry. We are not having any pressure to complete this content in a single week. What we focus on understanding each and every detail properly. Okay, if some of the content is not finished in 1 week, suppose it is mentioned 1 week, but suppose it is not get finished in 1 week, no problem, we'll do it in next week, right? But the thing is, we need to be going to detail of it, right? Here it is mentioned day 1, day 2, so don't worry about it. It is being created for 1.5 hour of session, But on the weekend we will have 2.5 hour of session, 2 3 hour of session, between 2.5 to 3 hours. In that case, we can cover more, right? So it's like we'll just try to go into like suppose you're going through the AI and NLP. So just try to understand in very much detail how NLP works, like what is tokenization, how words converted into tokens, from the token how it is converted to vector, from the vector how semantic analysis happens. That means if I'm asking something to a I'm asking something to someone, right? Like for example, I'm asking, I have a this one. Suppose I have a paragraph. This paragraph I have, right? Now I'm asking something like this, like what will you teach in generative AI? Okay, generative AI. So now there are two ways a board can answer. What are those two ways? First way is what? A board can just identify the words. Okay, generative AI. Fine. Now this generative AI is a word. It will find out in each section. Okay, this can be your first section. This can be our second section. This can be your third section. This can be your fourth section. Right? Fourth section. Now generative AI is present in which section? In first section it is present. How many times it is present? Two times it is present. Okay. Second section also it is present. One time it is present. Third section it is not present. Fourth section it is not present. Right. So the highest preference will be given to this guy. From here the information will be copied and pasted over here. That is one thing. Okay, I ask some question. From the question some words will be picked up. That word will be compared in each section, and from here it will copy and paste. So here there is no semantic search. It is what? Word search. Okay, word keyword search, you can say keyword search. So in keyword search many a time some information get missed. Okay, for a small size application keyword search is good, but for large size application keyword search is not good, because we miss lot of information, because this is missing information from here or here as well. So we do what? Semantic search. Okay, semantic search is what? Search based on the meaning, right? So this guy, first of all my model will try to understand the meaning of this guy, and then it will try to do a semantic search. It will try to identify which section are very close to the meaning, and that semantic search happen through cosine similarity. Cosine similarity is something that is being calculated mathematically to identify this particular question being close to which section, and then answer is generated, right? So we'll just try to go into the detail of semantic search, cosine similarity, everything, so that we can understand when we ask anything to a generative model how it generates the output based on semantic search. So a small size application, keyword search; large size application, semantic search. So which one we should learn? We should learn both, because we don't know what kind of model we have to work, right? If you have to go for to buy your grocery, right? If you have to go, just a minute, someone is okay, fine, let me finish it. If you have to go and if to go and buy a grocery, can you hear me? Hello, what happened? Revan, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can.
Just a minute, someone is facing some. Uh, who is? Ramanna, what happened? Like, Ramanna, are you fine? You have any question, Ramanna?
No, actually, most of the screen is not covered, right? Only one third I can see.
One third you can
I
see.
mean, your whole the PPT which you are sharing, right?
Mhm.
One third of the screen, only, I mean, maybe half of the screen it is showing. It is not fully showed on your screen.
It is not fully shown over here because I'm accessing it from here. If
Okay.
I want to show it fully, just a minute. I'll do it. Just a minute. I need to download this guy, and thereafter I'm using this cloud service. That's why it is not shown fully. Just a minute. Just a minute. If I have to download it and then I can show it. Now is it fine? Now is it okay?
Yeah, maybe you can increase the font. I mean, zoom. You can zoom it so it will be covered.
Okay. All right. Now I can do it. Yeah, fine. It's okay.
Yep.
Uh, just a minute. Now is it fine?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you. So in case if anyone is facing any issue, you can let me know. Right? Okay. Fine. So what I was telling, I just missed the lot. Okay, I was telling about the semantic search and cosine similarity, right? So now, why I was saying that whether we should go for keyword search or semantic search. See, that depends upon the use case. Keyword search is something that we use. Keyword search is something that we will implement or we use in case of a small size application. Like for example, you have to go to buy a grocery. So right, so for buying a grocery, you will not take a cab or you will not take your car. Right, same thing. It's like for a small size application, we'll go for keyword search. For a large size application, we'll go for semantic search, right? So these kind of things, to understand this semantic search and keyword search, the understanding of NLP and other text processing and embedding things are important. That's why we'll cover this topic. Okay, many times people don't focus on these things, but if you don't focus on these things later on, when we build up the application, we'll not be able to understand, right? How we can create a RAG based application. All right, so that's why we'll just focus on these things. So first week is one of the most important, or you can say first content, the content that you can see in these things, okay, like for first 5 topics are the most important as per my experience. Okay, here we may not build a very fascinating application in the first week, but whatever that we cover in first week, that will create the fundamentals of whatever we are going to do next, right? So just focus on this thing first, right? And then we will have these things like text classifier, character label, or text generator, fine tuning. These things we'll understand. Thereafter, in every week we'll have the hands-on as well as the theoretical part. 80%, 70% will be the hands-on, but 20-30% theoretical will also be there, right? Thereafter, will the second week, or after finishing up the first milestone, the second milestone is about creating our chatbot. Here we'll start creating our actual chatbot. Okay, that chatbot will based on your PDA, that chatbot will based on your SQL, right? That chatbot will based on your different kinds of data that you want to use, right? Like JSON data, text data, PDF data, OCR data, or your database, right? And then we have these kind of hands-on, where we will work on frequently asked question based chatbot, database driven chatbot, or quotation generator bot with PDF. Like someone has just given the kind of requirement, and my model can generate the quotation and send the quotation to the person, right? Then third, it's like start with the image generation. Image generation is going to be interesting, because here we will use both the kinds of image generation model, open source as well as closed source. If I talk about closed source, it is DALL-E, that is now GPT-4. Okay, DALL-E and GPT-4 is now same, right? Or some other image generation model is also there, like Runway ML is there, right? Gemini is also having image generation model. Microsoft Copilot is also having image generation model. But which image generation model will be more interesting? It's Stable Diffusion. Why? Because it is open source. It is free of cost, right? These guys, actually after some time you have to pay. As of now, whatever the website you see for image generation, they do what? After some time they ask you the money. Okay, they will ask you that, okay, pay this much money, and then you will pay that, and thereafter they generate the image for you. First 3, 5, 10 images will be free. Okay, in GPT also 2 or 3 or 5 images free. After that they will ask you for the plus. But if you know a Stable Diffusion, you can create your own website which can generate image. The last day only I was working on this, like I was just taking training, and I covered this diffusion model. I'll show you this thing, so that you can have a generic idea. So here, when I'm using diffusion model, okay, here kind of a image is generated. Which image? A SD image of a man fashion model wearing black suit. Okay, so it is being generated like this, right? So here I am not using any paid model. Now using this thing, I can do what? I can create a website, like I had created this one. Okay, this is just a simple UI created. This UI can be converted into the high-end UI as well, but this is a simple UI I had created. Let me check if it is working or not. The basic one UI, just to understand the process. Later on we'll create the high-end UI as well. So this is what we did, and thereafter I also tried with high-end diffusion model. Okay, a stable diffusion 3.5. Obviously, a stable diffusion 3.5 required more space, okay, more resources. But yeah, if you can, access it, you can create a very good image generation application, right? And you can also deploy it over the cloud, right? Now it is being time out. I guess I had created earlier, so that's why what I'll do, I just meanwhile just execute it. It will keep executing, and I'll go ahead with the next part. All right, so let me just execute this thing. Okay, fine. It is executed. Let it be executed. It takes some time because it's an image generation model and all. It will take 1 or 2 minutes. So I'll once it's executed, I'll show you like how UI works. So this is what we'll work on, right? And thereafter, these are the good, you can say, hands-on that we have. Okay, PDF related chatbot, then image generator, RAG based application, right? Then we move to the next part where we start working on agents. So for the agents we'll work on LangChain, LangGraph, okay, Flowise, okay, where this is a no code. Here we will not use code. Okay, without coding we'll try to create the agent, right? We'll try to understand what is LangChain, what is FAS, that is a vector database, what is Pinecone, Chroma. Now, what is vector database? See, if you have to store the data, what do? You must know about MySQL. So those are used for structured data. Now, text data converted into numeric form, and that numeric data needs to be stored somewhere. So for that, a database is used, which is called vector database. These are the some of the vector database that we'll try to explore, right? In which the vector form of the words will be stored, right? So it is going to be a very interesting journey in which we'll try to cover end to end, right from scratch of NLP to generative AI to agents. Okay, so I just try to give you a brief like what are we going to do. I hope this PDF is there with you as well. Now it's your time. If you have any question to ask, you can just let me know so
Yeah.
that I can try to answer your
So
questions.
transformer, you're going to start with the transformer, right? You cover the architecture of transformer, is it?
No, I'm going to start with NLP, natural language processing. Natural
Okay.
language processing, RNN, LSTM, then transformer. Because in transformer, there is a concept of encoder and decoder,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So to understand the concept of encoder and decoder, you should have a knowledge of RNN. Okay.
Okay.
From there, we'll take the journey. Like then we can easily understand how encoder and decoder actually works, right?
Okay.
So that's why
Okay.
RNN and LSTM is, because in LSTM also we'll have the encoder decoder. So that's when we take the journey from there, the encoder decoder architecture we can better understand
Okay. So you will cover the encoder and decoder architecture in detail.
in detail, everything in detail. Like it's like if you see over here, I'll show you the transformer architecture now only.
So, I mean, in detail in the sense like, are we create our own encoder and decoder models, or
We can create.
okay.
We
or
can
else, or
create
else like,
our.
or else like any small project kind of like where how the encoder model can be developed. Like, see, we have a positional encoding and then embeddings, vector embeddings, and then forward network. All those normalization, everything comes. So how it works? Can we see that coding with code, or just an theoretical architecture cover? You will
See,
cover.
obviously, like the encoder and decoder will create using the code. Okay, using the Python script, you can create it. This transformer, it is having this one we will not. This one architecture will try to understand, because if you understand, if you can create encoder and you can create decoder, right? So almost you created 70% of the transformer.
Okay.
Correct, right? So now only the transformer is having one additional thing apart from encoder and decoder, that is called over here attention.
Yeah.
Okay, the attention mechanism works like this, like if I will write over here that I am wearing a red shirt, right? Or let's say Varun is wearing a red shirt like this, right? And someone asks like what Varun wears, right? So in this case, the attention says what? Just it will not read each word one by one to answer it.
Hmm.
Okay, just focus on everything at once,
Okay.
right? And thereafter just pick out that particular word which is important to answer it, right?
Okay.
So that how self, there are two kinds of attention. One is called self attention, other is multi-head attention.
Yeah.
So first we'll work on the self-attention. Once we understand self-attention, then we can go with the multi-head attention. And then in decoder, one additional thing comes that is called masked multi-head attention. Right?
Yeah.
So encoder, decoder will create. Next, we will just try to cover this particular attention mechanism in detail. And thereafter, our transformer topic will be completely, we can understand like how actually transformer works.
Okay. Okay. So after this, you will get into LLM concepts.
Yeah, right. After covering this, we'll go into the LLM. We'll just try. Thereafter, we'll go into the BERT, right? And GPT. BERT is something which is bidirectional, right?
Mhm.
BERT is encoder based. GPT is decoder based,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
So we'll understand how BERT works only as an encoder and how, because in GPT it's like generally there used to be confusion. If GPT is just decoder, then how it actually understands our question or do it. So we'll try to understand that particular concepts also, like how GPT act only is decoder, how BERT is encoder, and thereafter if I combine BERT and GPT together, it becomes encoder decoder. We have a
Okay.
lot of models which in which both works. Okay, encoder and decoder both works in, and
Mhm.
lot of models are there in which only encoder is there or only decoder is there.
Okay. So after LLMs, we will be covering with LLMs, we will be covering different models,
Mhm.
open source models. Along with that, RAG, MC,
RAG.
MCP.
Yeah, MCP is not over here in this content. I guess MCP is not there,
Mhm.
but MCP I'll try to cover just when I am covering this thing, that is your RAG or LLM. Okay, like along with the GPT bit, like after the third milestone. Okay, between third and agent, because MCP is something related to agent, right?
Okay. Mhm.
So when we are going through the agent part, just remind me once, right? I'll just try to give you the understanding like how MCP works, because it is highly related with it. It will not take very much time. Along with the agent, you can easily understand like how it actually works.
Yeah, because without MCP, I think it won't be complete, right? I think it is a must have,
Yeah,
must to have.
yeah, it's fine, no problem. It is it will not take much time. It's just like if you understand the agents part, MCP you can quickly understand, right? So you can just remind me once that okay, this MCP is required. I'll just cover that MCP in one class, because obviously if I'm covering MCP, most probably it will take one extra class,
Okay.
right? So
So,
that will
so
be touched.
when it comes to agents, you cover coding agents or non-coding agents, I mean, which framework, mainly which framework you will use?
See, if we talk about the coding agent, right? So
Mhm.
during the process of generative AI, only coding agents, almost like coding agents will be done. Okay,
Mhm.
like I'll show you an example. Just a minute. Just a minute. I have some project over here. Okay, chat now PDF voice assistant, interview assistant. Okay, so let's say I will just launch this guy. Okay, and yeah, okay, let me just try to run a particular file, streamlit interview assistant.py. Okay, some more are there. So if I talk about this thing, right? So
Mhm.
this, let me just oh, sorry, I guess I did some streamlit run, I missed streamlit run. Okay, so it is just a simple model which is being a generative AI model which is being created using what? Code, the Python script,
Yeah.
right? What it is doing, you can consider it like an interview agent who will assist you in preparing for the interview. Like here I can choose that I want to be software engineer, data scientist, or product manager. Suppose data scientist. Now here I have not given the drop down for the questions. Here I had given just like some question that like tell me about yourself, what are the experience. Now suppose I want to prepare for the interview, I'm giving it an answer like I am people experienced in data science and machine learning with some uh, it's 11 years, right? 11 years working on different projects. Okay, like this. So it is not complete answer. I just given it something, right? Now if I'll call it, right? So it will evaluate. So now this is acting like a three agent. You'll see the three outputs over here. First, it will evaluate my answer. Second, it will kind of kind of give me the model answer, right? And third, it will just summarize everything. Okay, so it's like it will act in a three, like it will do three tasks. So it is like having a combination of three agents, right? Now it is running little slow because to create it I have used llama, and llama is installed in my system, so that's why it may be little slow. We can make it fast. Even using llama we can make it fast by using grok. Okay, grok actually provides the API. Using this I can make it fast because grok is also having so many models that you can see. If I use grok it will become fast. Only thing, it is paid, right? But here it is just kind of running in my system, so it's slightly slow. So now this is how these are the practicals when you do. This is also kind of a agent. So these are the coding one. We will also explore the non-coding one. Okay, non-coding one we will do through Flowise. Okay, so Flowise is something which is built on top of LangChain. There are so many are there. Flowise, LangFlow, LangGraph, LangChain. So many are there, right? So
But ideally in the market, I think N8N or Autogen, something which are non-coding agent. I mean, low code, no code agents will be utilized mostly, right?
Right. For that purpose only, we will use no code. We'll explore both, right? It's like we can't depend on one. So
Yeah.
see what it is doing. First, it is evaluating. Second, what can be improved, and third, the model answer. So it's three things it is doing, right? So we will explore more both code, non-code. Okay, so that we can have a better experience of kind of see, this is something, the technology, this technology is not as stable.
Yeah.
Okay, you just need to understand how it works using few of the things. Today
Yeah.
whatever you are learning, that thing may not remain constant for next 6 months or 1 year or 2 years, right?
Got it.
But
Got it.
if you have
So
an
finally,
experience.
for coding, we will use LangGraph. For
Hmm.
non-code, no code, low code, no code tool, we'll use Flow AI,
Flowise.
Flowise.
Yeah, it is almost similar to N8N, but N8N again I can use again. For the N8N you need to get some subscription, and you have to, after some extent you have to pay, right?
Okay. Okay.
But this one you can use, you can install this thing into your system. It is already installed in my system. I'll show you. To start this I have to just use npx flowwise start. Right. So the benefit is what? This is something which you can install locally into your system. Okay. And once it is installed, you can, use it. I'll show you Flowwise and then Flowwise. Okay. It's like you can use it locally into your system. Like you have to just follow this step. I'll tell you the process. You can create a Docker container, and later on you can also deploy it on AWS, Azure, DigitalOcean, GCP, okay, Railway, Render. Few of the cloud I'll cover. Okay, few of the cloud I'll cover. How can you deploy it over the cloud? Okay, so in detail I'll cover. So it is having a very good, you can say, use cases. Now it is I executed it. I executed this thing. Now when I executed it, Flowwise is running. I have to just run the local host and 3000. So on this 3000 host, my Flowwise, I'll show you. So I have to just give over here.
Is it like a Node.js or JavaScript based tool?
It is based out of Node.js only.
Okay.
Yeah, correct. I just missed the password or what? Just a minute. Mm, I guess just a minute. I'll just use over here. What happened to this password? Just a minute. If I miss the password, I have to reinstall it once again. Even it is installed locally, still it requires. This is a new update. Actually, earlier password was not required, but they had given it a new update. In the new update, they had added a password. Only last week I added the password for the first time, so I am missing it. Uh, Connect this one. Hmm.
So maybe you can share that PPT once, the one you shared till now, in the group or maybe however way you want to.
Right,
So
right, right, right. Definitely, definitely. I guess I missed the password. Actually, what happened when I will, just a minute.
so the timings will be weekend or weekdays.
Weekend. We'll do it on weekend. Okay, fine. So once I guess I have to reset it, everything. I have to reinstall it. But no worry. Once I reinstall it, it will give you this kind of interface where we have to just connect, almost like you had seen in N10, right?
Okay.
So it's almost like that. So if you have experience in any one of these tools, you can work with any tool, right? So it's like, yeah, it will be the weekend thing. Okay, the timing that I want to discuss with you. Timing, shall we keep it in the morning like 9?
Maybe around 11 would be get better. 11 to,
I think evenings would be better.
Okay, or
or else
evening.
weekdays morning 9 is fine.
Weekdays actually so many people are not available. The problem is that weekdays is not like Revan is having its their own institutions or college. That's
Or
why
weekdays 9 p.m. also fine.
late night, right? Uh,
Yeah, I mean weekdays means like we have 5 days, right? Weekends it will be 2 days, so we
hmm.
don't need to cover like 2 hours, 3 hours and all. Maybe 1.5 hour, 9 to 10:30 is fine.
Okay, 9 to 10:30. Ramanna, what do you say?
Yeah, 9 to 10:30 p.m.
Okay, Souvik,
weekday.
Yeah, weekdays is better. We would have some speed.
speed will be same. Like speed will be same, whether it's a weekdays or weekend. In the weekdays, so we have 1.5 hour of class. In the weekends, we have approximately 2.5 hour to 3 hour of class, right? So that's the thing. So it will almost same. It will not vary. Maybe 1 week extra, maybe there.
No, what I'm talking about is if it is a weekend, I have seen that we fall out of touch
Oh,
onto the next
okay.
weekend.
Yeah. Okay. Rehan, what do you say?
Yeah, late nights I'm fine with it.
9 p.m. is good for you?
Yeah.
Okay. Parth, you there? Parth, are you there?
I think he's on mute.
Parth, you can just unmute yourself. Just let me know. I guess some issues there with the Parth. No problem. I'll discuss with the Parth later on. So 9 is fine. Like I was just only asking you this thing so that everyone should be comfortable on it. So 9 is fine for everyone. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, fine. So weekdays we will do it on 9. Okay, so we have few people and one more Himanshu is also there. I'll just do what? I just have a discussion with the Himanshu, and most probably we'll finalize it at 9. All right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, fine. So we'll just start in case we are going for the weekdays, we'll start from the Monday. Is it fine?
Yeah.
Yes, fine by me.
Yeah.
Yeah, fine. Okay, all right. Okay, so it is going to be if anything technically, if you want to ask anything, like you just ask very good questions. Just and if apart from this, if you want to ask anything, just let me know.
Yeah, Vipul, I have a few pointers if I can bother you.
Yeah, please tell me.
Okay, Vipul. So I have an automation background,
All
RPA.
right, all right.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
robotics first automation kind of thing.
All
Okay,
right.
so what would be the takeaways from here? I mean, the content that you have.
Okay, so for automation, what do we use? UI path or something? Because I had also
Automation
used.
anywhere and sorry, automation anywhere and Power Automate.
Okay, Power Automate. Yeah, I have experience on the UI path. I used UI path approximately 3 4 years back. So yeah, so it's fine. Like in automation, almost the similar things that we do earlier using automation, but the automation was having so many limitations, right? You can just train on a limited amount of text, and automation in some case it hallucinates a lot. These things also, the GPT model also, these things also hallucinate sometimes, but not that much. So this process also used to automate a lot of things, like when you build the
Okay.
agent, right? Agent is what? Agent you can relate with the automation, right? Like you had used, almost like that. Okay, in agent we use something called tools. If I show you over here, these are successfully I got logged in. So there are some agents that I had created earlier. Okay, here agent flows. If I go, there are some agents that are created. Right now, if I will just open up any one of the agent, right? So what this guy is doing, this guy will just kind of this guy is being created for the purpose of what, let me check. Yeah, this guy is just having a kind of a document over here uploaded. If you see, based on the document, it is retrieving the data, putting into vector store, and thereafter we have three agents over here. The first agent is email summarizer, second is email responder, third is email formatter, and finally store the output over here at this location. Whatever the output generated is stored at this location, right? So if I go to this location, I'll show you some of the outputs must be saved, I guess, most probably. Yeah, so many outputs are saved over here. These outputs are basically created using the agent. Okay, it is not I created. These all image and everything that you see over here, like this one also created by the agent only, right? So it's like, in automation also we do the similar thing. Here also we do the similar kind of thing. We automate the process. Okay, but you have to just relate, like what are the case study that you do over there. Okay, and what like, because as I said, I had worked on UI path, but it's approximately 4 5 years back. So you have to just relate, like whatever the activity that you did over there. Okay, you can just let me know that this is what I do here. So is there any way of doing it in this case or not? So I can help you in that case. Okay, with the tools in the case of agent, like write file is a tool actually. Okay, this guy is a retriever is a tool. So for different purpose we have a tool, right, in creating the agents. So I'll just try to help you with these kind of tools which can automate your process.
Okay. Okay. Makes sense. Just one more thing. So this AI kind of thing is quite new. The Gen AI and the AI models are quite new. And as you were saying that, what we are learning today might not be relevant 6 months down the line. There might be some more evolution coming down. Okay, so what kind of job prospects, I mean, what kind of roles are there today on this, arena?
Okay, I'll tell you. See, relevant in the sense it's not like that. It will, like, no one will give any value to it. It's not like that. See what happened. If you are if you know about a technology and that technology gets updated, something new comes. Okay, you
Mhm.
can easily adopt it. right? You can easily adopt and learn, because why I adopted this Gen AI things so quickly, because I was already having the experience of data science, machine learning, AI, deep learning. Those things I was already knowing. I was already knowing how different architectures works, how CNN architectures work, how image model works, how encoder decoder work. That's why it was relatively easier for me to adopt this technology, right? So if you know it, right, later it will get updated. Obviously it will get updated, new things will come, but you can easily adopt that. You don't require that again, you go for some training, again you investment, it will not be required. Okay, with some bit of research you can easily adopt the things and you can start working on that, right? That's the point. That's how these things actually works. You have to start from somewhere, but once you have started, once you get the foundation, the adoption becomes easier, right? Again, you don't
Okay.
need anyone to guide you. That's the benefit that you get actually when you go through any kind of learning process.
Yeah, Vipul. So I was also trying to figure out what kind of job roles are there right now in the market since you are there already.
Okay, so in the market we have different kind, like what kind of job role I get. Like generally, I get or I have to work on. Mostly, it's about the consultancy part. Okay, for different organizations, I work as a consultant for them to help them adopt this technology into their own organization. Right, that is what I do. Right, within the organization, there are a lot of requirements are raising up. Right from the beginner level. Beginner level is like about prompt engineering kind of thing. Yeah, obviously we are going to understand, explore the prompt engineering part as well. Beginner level, it's like prompt engineering. Thereafter, it's like using the RAG based application and all, right? So these are the things we start. Later on, it's like as you go ahead, like as you get more experience, suppose you have a 5, 10, 20 year of experience, so in that case it's not about these basic things, right? There at that stage you have to lead a project. Okay, so when it's come to the lead a project, you just need the high level understanding, or you can say you just need the understanding like how all these things works. Like there was a person in one of the batch. He is having a 16 year of experience. We just guide him for an interview. He's working in TCS, so we just help him. We just kind of assist him for an interview. So there, he was being asked like, if you have a PDF file, then how can you read it in the Python? This was something it is being asked, right? So he was like, during the course we already created RAG agent, so he can answer. And what was the role for him? It was just the lead role. Okay, the project lead role he was getting. It was not a developer role because he's already having 16 years of experience, right? So depending upon the experience, depending upon what at which level right now are you, you get the job offers, right? For the basic level, it is mostly about development. As it is up to 5 to 7, it's kind of you can say team lead kind of thing, where you should know all these things so that you can guide your team, right, to make something useful. And as your this thing increases more, experience increases more, it's a project lead or kind of Gen AI lead, right? So most of the job roles that I see that above 8 or 9 years is generative AI lead or project lead or agentic AI lead. These kind of things generally I get. At the basic level, it's just generative AI developer, RAG developer, or agent developer kind of thing.
Okay, and what do they develop?
Yeah, what?
I mean, so you already have your
Prompt
GPTs.
engineering.
So what is the real work like?
Real work, you see, if you have to create a product, right? So now you have a lot of options. Okay, you have a GPT, you have a Gemini, you have a Llama, you have Grok, you have so many things are there. Now to create a product, lot of, it's not like that project come to us and I start creating or start working on a project. No, there used to be a complete analysis resource, right? Analysis of you can say the what the pricing, right? Analysis of infrastructure, the cloud infrastructure. Like for example, if I say that I have to create something for my some application, some RAG application or some agent for within organization. I have a suppose a team of 100 people, and I want to create an agent so to help those 100 people. So in that case, I will not expense more. I'll not go for GPT, right? I'll try to use my kind of open source model like Llama. Right. Now, when I use Llama, it is responding late, it is responding slow. So what I do? So thereafter, again, I have to think the process that how to man, like what are the GPU is required. So shall I invest on the GPU? GPU investment is good, or using some tools, some API, some of the platforms who provide the Llama API. So if I'll get the Llama API from, because Llama directly don't provide API, that third party who provides API, right? So again I have to pay for that. So those cost analysis needs to be done. Now if I'm creating for the end users, so for the end users, like for the market I'm trying to create something. So in that case we will go for GPT kind of thing, we'll go for some more advanced model, okay, because the speed is also important, the accuracy is also important, right? So depending upon the project we analyze a lot of things, and based on that we decide, and finally we build a final output. So
Okay,
every day
okay.
the requirement is different. So these analysis needs to be done, and then we work on that. That's why you need to have understanding of all these kind of technology that are available. Yeah,
Sure, sure, makes sense.
right. All right. So I guess
So
this
do
is
you cover prompt engineering with all the one shot and zero shot and
few sort, zero
single?
sort, few sort, one sort, chain of thoughts. Thereafter, role based prompting. Everything I'll cover.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. All right. So this is the thing that we did. We'll continue from Monday. Is it fine for everyone?
Yes, fine by me.
All right. All right. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Good night. It's nice meeting you. I'll take your introduction as well. I'll just try to know about you as well, like what are the area in which you're working, what are the organization, and what are your job role. Okay. But now I have to join a kind of a short meeting, so I'll just join it. And on Monday, I'll just because we have a long, like we have a 1.5 month to 2 months of journey, so you get enough time to know about each other, right? So we will use those time to know about each other as well. All right.
Yeah,
Thank
sure.
Sure.
you. Yeah. Thank you. Take care. Good night.